by making Cavill. Let's try again. Yo, and welcome to another episode of With Enough Prep Time. I'm your host, the Nerd Man, and today we are finally reacting to the Black Adam. We are finally reacting to the Black Adam. Of course, we're finally reacted to the Black Adam trailer just dropped today, and of course, you know, I'm DC for life, baby. So, if anything's gonna bring me out of the kind of woodworks to come back and like just celebrate comic book movies, which I think have been on a high recently. We had Batman, we had Doctor Strange was dope. I'm looking forward to what we have coming forward for comic book movies. So, you know, I'm DC forever, baby. If anything's gonna bring me back, Arkham, you're more than welcome to join. Arkham Gaming, man, peace. If anything's gonna bring me back, you know, it's the next DC jam, the next proof, the next smackdown that DC is gonna do on the MCU. Of course, I'm gonna come back for that. So yeah, I'll send you hey Pickle. I'm gonna send you a what up, Superboy. I'm gonna send some people a link now. I don't know if they're gonna come on. They haven't said they're gonna come on, but hopefully we'll see. So where's Arkham? Yeah, and also I did want to have a discussion about like the community at the moment. Like this is a community that I love, of people, you know, that I've had like the best and worst discussions with, and we've got angry at each other, and we've shouted at each other, and we've laughed with each other, and all sorts. And I feel like our community is a little bit in trouble, and I wanted to discuss that a little bit without getting, you know, on whose fault it is and who's, you know, whose side I'm on, or etc. etc. Nothing like that. Just an open discussion about the community, and hopefully, if not repairing wounds, what I'd like to do is see that we can move on in future, and you know, just to let everyone know I'm cool with them, essentially. So and what was the last thing? Yeah, Arkham. There we go. Because I'm really looking forward to this trailer. I've been waiting for this trailer since they mentioned it like a few weeks ago. Or no, it was last week they mentioned it, and I thought it was like the cruelest thing ever for them to like tell us about the trailer about a week before. You tell me 2 days before, not a week before, because I was just been looking forward to this so much. Enjoy your hero. What is going on, Rogue? Fucking MCU shill you. All right. Oh, so it's a dope trailer. Surprised how light the tone is. I was expecting something of a darker tone overall. All right, well, let's see this trailer. Let's see how it goes down. So this is me reacting. I don't have headphones here, which is pissing me off. I should have thought of that earlier, but hopefully, tell me if this is if the sound is off when I react to this trailer. All right, so here we go. Black Adam.
Black Adam. What have your powers ever given to you? Nothing but hiding. I was a slave until I died. Then I was reborn a god. My son sacrificed his life to save me. Now I kneel before no one. Into this world.
heroes. They're villains. Heroes don't kill.
Well, I do. My vision of the future. You have two choices. You can be the destroyer of this world. Or you can be insane. That's up to you.
I'm a little bit confused at the moment. I have to say.
Did he just catch a rocket?
He got a
All black, everything. You know my fresh coat.
I don't know about dope. That's a weird trailer. I mean, to be fair, I don't think it's spoiling anything like massive, but it seems very. It doesn't seem like it's in the same universe as the other films that I've seen, basically. Look at the disappointment in that man's face. Not a great trailer. It doesn't seem in line with Shazam or anything else in DC, really. I didn't get the spaceship in the beginning. Is that like Hawkman's spaceship? Because that's the only reason that would make sense, because that was like straight out of Black Panther or something. I don't like the rap song. Yeah. I don't like the Superboy rap song. I think it's dumb. It doesn't really go with Black Adam at all. It does feel like Fast and the Furious. And basically, it's everything I feared that Dwayne Johnson would do with a Black Adam film, as far as I can see right now. That's a good thing. They need to make films that are different from other DC films. I agree with you, but like that's not. It's different in a kind of generic way. It's different in the sense that it looks like a kind of generic action film. I'm not. Look, you know I love DC, but that looked a little bit Sony-verse to me. That's what I mean by different from DC. It looked a little Sony-verse. I'm going to watch it again. I'm always going to give DC another chance. But man, I was not blown away by that. Usually DC trailers are like the shit, basically. And I was not, that did not capture my imagination. Let me see that again.
Black Adam. What have your powers ever given to you?
See, this is what I don't get. What's this about? Like, why is he? Is this? That's in the present day. They've captured him, and they're experimenting on him, because that can't be like how he got his powers. I mean, obviously that's not how he got his powers. He got his powers from the wizard Shazam. So I don't know what this is about. This is very weird. It's like they're making Black Adam into like more sci-fi than because he's much more mythological. He's mythology, you know, like ancient Egyptian and Greek mythology.
Nothing but heartache. I was a slave until I died. Then every born of God. My son sacrificed his life to save me.
It doesn't even seem that brutal. I'm just confused by it. It's like
Now, I kneel before no one.
to be fair though, I think this is going to appeal to a lot of people. You know, it may not necessarily when it comes out be my thing, but I feel like it will appeal to a lot of people. LOL, I love the trailer. Guess I'm in the minority of this chat. Good first trailer. It's an okay first trailer. I'm not saying it's the worst thing I've ever seen. I just expected a little bit more unique. I thought there was going to be much more of a flavor of it being a very you know, filmmaker driven movie, and that they're going to have their own unique flair to everything. Like I was really impressed by the footage from not Comic-Con, from the DC fandom. I was really impressed by that. This just seems like a generic action movie. That's my only problem. I mean, it's fine, but it seems a little bit like a generic action movie. And I might enjoy it, but this is not the type of movie I would take my friends to, for instance. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, new DC bangers out. Trust me, this is going to be a unique take on, you know, it's not, it's just, it just seems a little bit generic.
In this world, heroes.
And it doesn't seem to have the heart of Shazam either. But we'll see.
Heroes don't kill.
Like, what is all this space age stuff? Is he comes into modern day and there's like ships? I think they're trying to make it like they're trying to make this a bit like Black Panther or something. I don't know. It's weird.
Heroes don't kill people.
And Hawkman, I mean, is that how they're going with Hawkman? That's the look? Because he looked dope before in the other trailer, and now does this look at this image here? I'm looking at this image and I'm like, are they even in that room? It looks green screeny as fuck. But it's fine. Again, this is not a terrible trailer. I thought it would be something different.
Well, I do.
I mean, didn't he do that joke in Jumanji as well? Like he did the punch up joke where the person, he punches the person and they fly up in. Oh no, man! It looks. I don't know. It might be a little bit better than Aquaman. It looks like another Aquaman.
My vision is the future.
This is nice. But again, look at how he's flying here. I don't feel like this is real.
You have two choices.
I mean, who is getting? They need to get whoever did the flight for Man of Steel, right? Whoever did the flight choreography and everything in Man of Steel, they need to get that back for the rest of their movies. Yeah. So, what's everyone saying? Oh yeah, PKL. The trailer was actually pretty bad. I might do a video on it because it gets worse the more I watch it. Laughing my ass off. I don't think you're wrong about the Jumanji part. Yeah. Take the DC label off this and it looks like another generic rock action film. I hate fucking hate to do it, but I kind of agree with Pickle. That's terrible. I hate this, that I'm agreeing with Pickle on the DC movie. I thought Rock was going to come harder than this, I have to say, but it's just the flight looks weird.
You have two choices.
Does that look fake to anyone else?
You can be the destroyer of this world, or you can be its savior.
And what is all this? Yeah, it's
It's up to you.
Behind you!
Did he just catch a rocket?
I like that bit. That bit
You know
was
the
cool.
rest.
Hey, it could go either way, man. It's not the worst trailer I've ever seen. It looks like they're holding back some stuff. That's some MCU humor at the end there. Did he just catch like you don't know that he just caught the missile? Do we have to have someone announce it for us? Rock catching the missile was dope. I do think the way they did that, with him just not slowing it down, so you see it, you just see him go move from one spot to another. I do like when they do that, but all in all, it's an average trailer, but I guess it's the first trailer. We'll see when we get more of the story trailer if this is going to be some generic shit, or if Rock has actually put his heart into this. Because if this is a project that, especially that this was being worked on for several years, like many, many, many years, like since when was he announced as Black Adam? Like 10 years ago. And this film has been worked on since then, and this is the best they can do. I don't know, man. Maybe they do need to restart the DCU. Oh man, but I haven't seen the film yet. The film I might like, but it's not my kind of thing. That's not it's not why it's not my kind of thing, but that's fine. Unless there's somebody else who wants to come and discuss this with me. I have sent links to people. I'm going to bed. I'm watching you as I fall asleep. Thanks for the link. Time limit and where? Oh, on the. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I guess I can turn it into a different video, because I hear people outside. And what was he saying? The hip hop song didn't get the tone of it. I don't think anything was right tonally in that. It just seemed off somehow. That everything seemed off in that film, from what I saw. It seemed very much like a Rock film. It's like the guy can't act, so he has to bring everything in the film down to the tone of a person who can't act. And that's the problem. And I thought that it could work somehow, but actually this is more confirmed many of my suspicions and fears. That they're just going to turn it into a silly action movie rather than like, The Rock just being in a good movie, but he's just like not acting well. That's what I thought he was going to try and do, right? Is actually make a really, really good movie that's up there with, Shazam and Wonder Woman and the Batman and all of these kind of movies. Except he's just not going to be that good in it. but it looks like actually he's gone the other route, which is just like, let's bring everything down to the level of, you're in a movie with somebody who was a former wrestling star, right? Like, it's just. But again, I might be completely wrong. You never know from trailers. And I do appreciate the fact that they held a lot back. What does it say? They need to establish the origin better for general audiences, especially. I think so as well. I would have liked this movie just set in ancient Egypt. I thought that would have been dope. Just the whole movie, just set in ancient Egypt, and then the next time you see Black Adam is in Shazam 3. I thought that would have been a great way to go, rather than move him into the modern world, and then I don't get that, because often I say like period pieces are a bit silly. Like if you like Wonder Woman, I don't think that needed to be set in World War One. I thought they did fine with the idea of her being in World War One, but I don't think it's necessary that her story needed to be set in World War One. And I think it could have benefited the franchise, going on, if her movie was, her first film was set in the modern day. So you could have kept the same cast, kept building upon, a successful cast if people love them, right? Whereas like, because she was set in World War One, and then the next film was set in the 80s, you had to get rid of all of her supporting cast. You had to get rid of all of the things that they built up in the first movie. So I didn't think that made sense. But Black Adam, that really does make sense. To set it in the past and to just keep it there, I think it would have been a much, much better idea, because then you could just do a villain movie and then, straight into Shazam 3. When he's found, like Shazam or Billy accidentally unlocks his cave or whatever, and unleashes him on the world. So I mean, that's my thoughts on it. I don't know if anyone is. Again, I'm just checking to make sure. Yeah, Arkham, I sent the link, but I don't think he can make it. Superboy says, I'm sorry, I can't. I have to attend work at 12. And Superboy says, I might come. So I guess I can finish with this. I wanted to talk briefly about the community that I've been part of for a while now. So let me just get rid of like this and then just go full screen. I'll just remove myself. So essentially, recently we've there's been, for want of a better word, a lot of people within the community, and I mean the YouTube community that we've been part of. I think MSK, in some ways kind of started this community, or not started, but like is the kind of center kind of piece of the community, and everyone used to go on his channel, and then some people had their own channels, and we'd be kind of connected back to that. And I have a lot of friends that I've kind of made through YouTube. Philosophical Pickle being a very good one. His brother Film Elitist being a very good one. K Dots, MSK himself, Rogue Comics, Paul, Halogen Helix, Jess, a number of other, Widow as well is somebody I've talked to, backstage for long periods of time about my relationships, about like what's going on with me in Prague, everything like that. And these are people who are my friends, are genuinely my friends. If I ever go to the States, which I plan to do, I want to visit a few of them. I definitely hit up, Paul if I was going to Australia for a beer, and I'm going to be in that region soon. So I hope to, one day actually meet some of these people in kind of real life, and it not just be like a virtual thing. And I guess, it comes a point where when people do things and wrong people, you're kind of expected to kind of take sides on certain things. And I can see why people feel that and why people might feel betrayed. Thank you. While people might feel betrayed, or people might feel like, oh, you're not if you were my friend, and etc., that you would do this and you wouldn't, talk to somebody who said this about me. Now, my whole philosophy of things is I always try and keep out of things, other than I will talk to people personally. I won't ever like bitch about somebody else, but I will talk to them about, the issues they have, right? Like how they feel about their own relationship. Okay. Whether that relationship is with a friend or somebody like that, I'll talk to them about that. I'll say, like, maybe it's not the most sensible idea to date somebody on YouTube or something like that, but I will never bitch about like another person. So that's always been my attitude. It's not like I generally don't want to get involved in other adults' disputes, right? So that's just my general kind of thing. Like if an adult, like two adults are having an argument, and as long as they're not hurting each other, physically or something like that, it's their business and they can deal with it. And if I'm friends with either of them, I'll just tell them, look, don't talk to me about the other person, because I like the other person. I'm friends with the other person. I'm friends with you. And I will tell them, don't talk to me about that person because I'm friends with them. That being said, I do want to say something now about like what's been going on. All right. So a lot of this comes down to, and I'm not going to mention any specific person. They're going to know who they are if this is the case. If you find yourself in life, right, and I might be, by saying this, going down a path where I'm, going to be ostracized in some way. But if you find in life, right, that you're constantly having conflicts and you're constantly having to defend yourself about those conflicts, like you have a conflict with one person and then you're innocent, you're the innocent one, I've got to defend myself, right? I've got to say why somehow I'm being misunderstood, right? Like, no one understands me. This person doesn't understand me. If they understood me, they'd understand that the reason I did this is this, right? If you're that person who, it happens once, it happens twice, it happens 3 times, then really it gets to a point where you have to start reflecting on yourself. You have to start doing some self-reflection and wonder why it is that every time you have to defend yourself and say that I'm innocent for this, that, and the other reason, and people don't understand me for this, that, and the other reason. And that's not to say that you're completely wrong in saying that the person has misunderstood you. But it is to say that at the same time, you have to take some kind of responsibility yourself and say, hey, what's going on here? The fact that there's constant conflicts and the fact that that's impacting the group and that's impacting my friends, that take some responsibility to try and repair things, because it is possible to repair things. It is. Maybe not now, in certain things that I'm talking about, and I'm trying to be vague here. In certain things that I'm talking about, maybe not now. You can't repair it now. I don't know, but in general, when you get to that point where people are misunderstanding you. So I'm going to give an example. All right. Because I don't want ever people to feel isolated. But they have to understand that when you have a big group dynamic where people enjoy coming on and watching me and Rogue Comics argue about whether the MCU or DC is better, or they enjoy watching me and Philosophical Pickle argue about Thor versus Shazam, right? Whatever the stupid argument is. When you have that kind of dynamic, when certain people just start arguing over their own personal issues, it impacts all of us. And it means that we can't just freely be with our friends, freely be with people that we enjoy talking to anymore. I don't want to have to be like, oh man, can I get this person and this person on at the same time? And I don't want to know, does this person have, issue with that person and that, I don't want to have to do that. And I don't think anybody wants to have to do that. And if it's one time that you're in a conflict like that, then you can go, okay, well, those two people just obviously don't get along. But if you are the person who's in that conflict consistently, then again, I'd say, maybe there might be something that you're doing. A lot of things happened, Superboy. And maybe there's something that you might be doing. That's all I'm saying. And so that is one issue that I want to talk about. And then the second issue that I want to talk about, and this is a general issue which includes myself, that I'm criticizing myself on this, is I came out like, when I was debating things with people, I thought, most of the time you're talking about things that don't mean anything, right? Like, so say we're talking about like some stupid film, right? And whether I like it and the other person dislikes it, like Doctor Strange. One person likes it, the other person dislikes it. Doesn't matter. You can say anything you want in that particular debate, right? It shouldn't hurt somebody's feelings what you say about a film that they like or dislike. Some people do, unfortunately, take that personally, and you have to be aware of that. But I think what happened is that, and I want to just mention this as a source of one of the conflicts that I really, really want to help heal, if possible, is that we took that way of discussing, pop culture stuff, and we started discussing political stuff like that as well. Stuff about race, stuff about feminism and whatever, stuff that really impacts people's lives, right? Stuff that people feel really personal about, stuff that there is good reason not to get like angry that somebody personally disagrees with you, but to be aware of the kind of language like you use during those kind of sensitive discussions. Like, don't call someone an idiot, for instance, when you're discussing an issue regarding mass shootings or something like that. Whatever somebody's opinion is, whether they believe in gun rights or they don't believe in gun rights, you're talking about a very heavy loaded issue right there. And if you want to be respectful discussing that issue, you can't talk about it the same way that you talk about pop culture. Because what happens, especially when you're talking about something that has some racial implication or some gender implication or something like that, is that you're so used to being friendly and whatever with people on those kind of issues that you don't know when you're accidentally pushing people's buttons on more kind of significant issues, right? Like, so you're talking about the Batman and you're free to call people idiot and how can you possibly think that, you're crazy, blah blah blah. But then then you get so used to talking to that person about that thing, like in that kind of manner, that you start talking to them about that kind of thing, about much more sensitive issues. And I think that has led, not me personally, I never got annoyed by that, but I think that has led to some significant conflicts in the group. And it's something that I thought people should think about. That's all. And that's really it. Those are the two things I kind of wanted to discuss. I hoped that there would be some people on to discuss it with me. I hope there will be some people on to discuss it with me, but I wasn't going deep. I was just trying to express that this is something that I think that if there's any way of us moving on, and I hope in future to stream with people again in a way that, I know there's certain people in this groups that probably I hope they could forgive each other and they could talk to each other again, but I doubt it. And I understand why. That being said, I hope some people can be big enough, man enough, woman enough to take certain grudges and reach out to the person who you have that grudge with and just say, hey man, do you want to squash it? Because it's just a YouTube beef. Maybe we can squash it. Just reach out to them. Maybe they'll be dicks and say, fuck you, I never want to speak to you again. Or maybe they'll be the bigger person as well and be able to squash it as well. Because, we used to have dynamic debates and discussions, and I think people found them fun to watch. And it's too bad that so many people have are not able to have those discussions anymore. Anyway, let's see. Nerd Man, we've all felt the rift. It's okay. Some people just can't be around each other. That's life. Yeah, no, I understand that as well. I understand that's life. I just wanted to talk about it. I wanted the discussion. Maybe when I get home, anyone who watched this video, you can come on and discuss what I'm saying with me, and we can have a more fuller discussion about it. But that's it. That's all I had to say. Black Adam trailer sucked, and I hope some people who the rift isn't too big with, maybe they can make peace in the future. So that's me, guys. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm going to see you on the flip side, and I love you 3000. Peace. I hate Nerd Man. That's the beef. I hate you too, you son of a bitch. Anyway, peace.